Oh yeah. Hey, my name's Tom. You probably have seen me on Cannabis Legalization News, or you tried to Google how to get a dispensary license in Ohio, and you saw our website, CannabisIndustryLawyer.com. But my company is headquartered in Illinois. It's called Collateral Base. The cannabis industry is difficult in the sense that you just can't say that you're a cannabis company. I mean, I had an accountant actually before I came to MJBiz this year decline to have me as a client because I asked him, just a question for accounting, like, there's a lot of buying and selling of licenses in limited market states. How do you classify that as an asset? Is that goodwill? Can we depreciate that? Or is that just capital? And then you have to kind of on a cap table and it's just right there in your books and you can't get it back until you sell it. That question got me kicked out of an accountancy. But
we are back with another episode of MITA Unshackled here at MJBizCon 2023. We have already done Nevada today. We are in episode number 2. It's going to be a long day, lots of states, lots of jurisdictions covered, and we're presenting you, our audience, a couple points of contact and some basic overview information, some different states about some people who are known, who know the state, who are doing either operational stuff or regulatory stuff. And I'm thrilled to be joined by one of our co-hosts. We have been able to do this whole production here at MJBizCon because of our friends at DIZPOT, and one of my favorite friends at DIZPOT is Charlie. Charlie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Demitri?
Good. Tell us a little bit about DIZPOT. What is it? Because I think our audience doesn't even know.
Well, DIZPOT is a custom packaging, branding, logistics company based out of Phoenix, Arizona.
And Charlie, you've been involved in the industry for a long time personally, right?
A little over 3.5 years.
Yeah, and you've been with DIZPOT that whole time?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I remember seeing you around the hallway and stuff somewhere.
Yeah, at MITA.
Yeah, excellent. Well, what do you think of our partnership so far?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you, and everyone out there who's watching this should appreciate you and work at DIZPOT as a company because you guys are concerned about giving back. You know, when we first decided to do this little project about doing a state-by-state review, we said, let's find, the company that we know that's involved in packaging and cares a lot about the community. And maybe some of these other packaging companies do too as well. But we went to DIZPOT, and John Hartzell and Jeff, right off the bat, the two owners of DIZPOT immediately said, that's the kind of stuff that we wanted to do because that's who we are as a company, and that's a legacy. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. So thank you, our friends at DIZPOT, and let's learn about Illinois together. Why not?
Absolutely.
So
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so Tom, you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
oh yeah. Hey, my name's Tom. You probably have seen me on Cannabis Legalization News, or you tried to Google how to get a dispensary license in Ohio, and you saw our website, CannabisIndustryLawyer.com. But my company is headquartered in Illinois. It's called Collateral Base. The cannabis industry is difficult in the sense that you just can't say that you're a cannabis company. I mean, I had an accountant actually before I came to MJBiz this year decline to have me as a client because I asked him, just a question for accounting, like, there's a lot of buying and selling of licenses in limited market states. How do you classify that as an asset? Is that goodwill? Can we depreciate that? Or is that just capital? And then you have to kind of on a cap table and it's just right there in your books and you can't get it back until you sell it. That question got me kicked out of an accountancy. But so we win licenses all over the country and got started in Illinois.
See, cannabis legal expert in Illinois and other states. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Tell us about yourself. Marketing director for Arise.
So I'm the media director for Arise.
The media director,
yep.
Okay.
So we are a cultivator. We started in Illinois. We're also in Arizona. And we're building a facility to launch in California in 2024.
Okay, so technically you're an MSO.
Technically, we operate like a small company still. We're privately owned and pretty small team, but technically we
Shout
are
out to Arise, mom and pop
states.
MSO. Make a distinction between your MSOs. There are Canadian publicly traded MSOs, and then there are privately held MSOs.
Yeah.
And then Arise does well, at least when I got into Illinois, Arise came out and they tried to have a differentiation by saying that they use aeroponics. I'm not sure if you still use aeroponics,
Yes.
but what's the methodology of the cultivation?
So yeah, aeroponics is kind of like the very foundation of our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not only one of the only aeroponic cultivators in Illinois and Arizona, but we're actually the largest aeroponic cannabis grow in the world.
Holy moly. Is
Yeah.
that the one in Illinois?
Yeah.
How much canopy space do you manage?
I'm not a numbers guy. I don't want to tell you the wrong number.
A lot.
So you started with Arise started with one cultivation
Yes.
in Illinois.
Yes.
And then what year was that?
So that we purchased the facility. We purchased the license for the facility, and we started operations as Arise in 2016 when it was just medical.
And I want to tie that because I want to get into the history of Illinois and how it evolved medical to adult use. The basic, boring stuff. I know you're going to cover that.
No problem.
But just real quickly, tell us a little bit more about, or anything you also want about Arise, because we're going to focus mostly on Illinois as a group. But you guys are, what's your big plans? You got cultivation in Illinois. You got retail in Illinois.
We don't have retail in Illinois, so we have one retail location in Arizona.
In Arizona, okay.
And that's definitely something we may be looking at in the future is expanding into retail. But I think perfecting the aeroponic process and getting that working great both in Illinois and Arizona, and then now seeing can we build it from scratch, at that same quality level and output level in California is kind of what we're focused on
the
right
Arizona
now.
facility is fantastic. I've had the opportunity.
Have you been there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
Reese giving you
he
the
sure
old
has,
tour?
yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, glad to hear it.
Excellent. So, I mean, and there's so much. This cannabis industry is so diverse. Arise could one day be the greatest cultivator ever existed. It could be the greatest branded flower that ever existed.
Hey.
You guys could have independent brands named Wiggly Worms under Arise. You could have
We do
retail
have brands under the Arise family of brands now at this point. Yeah.
So what are those brands?
So obviously Arise is flagship, aeroponic, premium, full spectrum hash oil is kind of one of our. So that's like kind of the high end. And then we recently in both states launched Days Off, which is kind of our more budget-friendly brand, and it's blends. So blends were something that, like, personally, as a longtime stoner, I was a little skeptical about. And then we tried them, we tested them, we, did some market tests and stuff, and people fucking love them. And it's great because every time you have a different high. I've smoked Jack a million times, I've smoked Jenny a million times. What about Jack and Jenny together? What about Jack and Durban? You go on forever and you iterate. We've done about 200 blends across the two states already.
that's a lot.
So that's one of our major brands as well. And then we also do, just in Illinois at the moment, 93 Boys.
Oh, you guys are 93 Boys. Okay.
Yes, so we do. So
that.
that's we partnered with Chicago rapper Vic Mensa.
Nice.
To do the first black-owned brand in Illinois. So our team.
Our producer, who happens to be black, is giving you a shout out.
Yes, he is.
Hey, we're trying to be part of it. We're trying to give back to the community, and obviously, it's not what this is about, but black and brown communities, deserve to be a much bigger part of the space and part of the industry.
That's right.
He always forgets. I'm just kidding.
No. I mean,
I was giving you half a shout out, but I didn't want to say it.
No. I mean, hey, you're right. But yeah, so that's super important to us, and that's kind of we do a lot for and with the community with the 93 Boys brand.
And do you use DIZPOT for your packaging?
We don't at the time, but this is what we're here for. We're here to network, so we can talk,
So there are certain things that we do for you.
What do you?
More like the generic side of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I have always been trying to get into the custom
So
side.
Charlie, ask some tough questions.
Well, you can. We should just smoke together, and then I'll introduce you to the people who make those decisions, because that's not.
That's 100% fine with me.
It's a business conference, Tom.
It is a business conference.
I love you. You're a great guy, very friendly already. And I'm sure our audience wants to know much more about Arise. How do people learn about Arise? Is there a good Wikipedia page? What do you got?
I would go to arise.com. That's AERIZ.com, or check us out on Instagram at AriseUSA.
Awesome. So let's continue to talk about Arise. You know your way around the Illinois market, but let's dive deep into the origins of cannabis in Illinois. When did it go medical? And take us through the evolution.
Okay, back in 2013, the compassionate, because it's very often what a state does, it's a compassionate use act of the medical cannabis program. And so there was a compassionate use act for medical cannabis passed. And then it didn't actually get, I think it passed in like 14 as the election for governor was nearing. And we had a billionaire who was named Bruce Rauner fighting against the incumbent from Rod Blagojevich. And so like Blagojevich had been
Blagojevich got the hair?
Blagojevich has the hair and the convictions. So Blagojevich is out.
This is how people see
gets
us
convicted.
in Illinois. Sad.
Okay, but
Sad
then
but
Pat
true.
Quinn is now the governor, and he's on the way out because he's a lame duck tied to Rod Blagojevich. Billionaire Bruce Rauner comes in, who don't like cannabis, to save his life.
Right.
So he hired one guy.
Yes.
To oversee the program, which really slowed everything down, and now costs of carry. They put everybody who actually won or applied into limbo for a while, and another lawsuit that happened, and so that was maybe 18 months.
So there was an application process that was agreed upon, and licensing that was agreed upon, and they were like,
yes,
process started and then it was frozen.
Yes, and so like that's 14 as the